Good evening, everyone. Calling the meeting to order on July 1st, 2025. Hard to believe that it's July already. So 6 o'clock p.m. start meet time. Before we get started, I'd like for someone to give us a motion for Commissioner Economos to be able to join by phone and also to vote.
I'll make that.
Thank
I'll
you.
second.
Thank you.
I need you guys to vote.
Oh, I'm sorry.
To vote.
Good one.
It passed 4-0.
Hello, this is Chris.
Hey, Chris, it's the mayor and the rest of your commission. We just took a vote and it passed 4-0 that you can join by phone and also vote. So right now, Chris, we are going to leave the microphone on by the phone the whole meeting. So if you would mute your phone, except if you want to talk?
I will.
Okay, great.
I will.
We will get started. Sherry, can you do a roll call now, please?
Mayor Miller,
Here.
Vice Mayor Politis,
Here.
Commissioner Card,
Here.
Commissioner Economos,
Here.
Commissioner Dembinski.
Here.
Thank you. Reverend Bob?
And thank you all for allowing me to appear by phone.
You're welcome.
Now I invite everyone to stand, join me in this invocation. Gracious and loving God, as we gather on this first day of July, we pause to give you thanks for the gift of a new day, for the beauty of your creation experienced here in Daytona Beach Shores, this place we call home, and for the opportunity to serve this community. With the 4th of July just around the corner, we are especially mindful of the blessings of freedom and democracy. We remember those who have sacrificed to secure the liberties we enjoy. And we pray for wisdom to use the freedoms they secured to build a more just, compassionate, and unified society. Guide the hearts and minds of our city commissioners as they meet tonight. May their decisions reflect fairness, care for all residents, and a vision for the common good. Bless our first responders, city employees, and everyone working to make this holiday safe and joyful for all. We ask your presence in this place and in every word spoken. May your peace and guidance lead us forward. Amen.
Amen. Please join me in the pledge of allegiance. I pledge
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Reverend Bob, before we go on, can you tell us a little bit about our annual movie night?
Yeah, and I think this is what,
I don't know, that's what I was gonna, every time, it seems like it's 9 every time, but
no, it's more than 9 now. I think it's actually 11.
Okay.
11 years that we've been doing
please
this.
check, because we
10 or 11 years.
we get mixed up every single time. I think Melissa knows.
She's the go-to on the information on that.
Can you tell us about the movies we're gonna have?
Yeah, starting this coming Sunday evening, and we're so glad to partner with the city on this once again this year. Starting this Sunday evening, as soon as it gets dark enough, we'll be showing Moana 2 at the Drive-In Church. And then Tuesday evening, again, as soon as it gets dark enough, we'll be showing, it's our Throwback Tuesday night, and it's Back to the Future. And then Thursday night, we'll wrap up with the new release of Wicked. So we're looking forward to a great week. The gates open at 7 o'clock. There'll be concessions each night. We have wonderful sponsors this year, one of those being the Chamber, and bringing together other businesses from the community to be a part of that. So that'll be Thursday night. Realty Pros is doing Tuesday night, and I believe Ocean's Luxury is doing Sunday night.
Okay, great, and they have the best root beer floats.
What's that?
They have the best root beer floats.
They do, and Realty Pros is providing the best hot dog you'll get on Tuesday night.
Great.
And the price is right, too.
Exactly. Are we still at $1, or did we?
We'll do dollar concessions. Realty Pros is actually throwing in the hot dogs that night for free, and so that'll be a treat.
Okay.
And just the rain dates.
Yes, if you could go to those,
If we
please.
do have inclement weather on one of those scheduled nights, we'll go to the next night to show that same.
If I could ask my fellow commission, I'm usually, Reverend Bob can attest to this, we even did hula hoops a couple years. I try to attend all 3 nights, and because it's a joint venture between Daytona Beach Shores and the Drive-In Christian Church, just welcoming the folks, thank them very much for being there. Unfortunately, this year, July 6th, will be the only one I'll be able to attend. I have another commitment on July 8th, and we will be in Ohio on July 10th for a wedding. So if you can look at your calendars and see if anyone can back me up on Tuesday or Thursday, one or the other or both would be wonderful. And what I normally do, I get there when it starts to be dark, just hang around greeting people, and then just, again, welcoming them. So altogether, maybe a half hour, 45 minutes would be the maximum. I stay a little bit longer, but that's all.
We usually do that about 7:30 to 8 o'clock, and mix it in with the games for the kids. And
Anyway, so if anyone can do that, please let us know. Thank you very much.
thank you.
Okay, we'll go on now with our presentations. I don't see Cindy Robinson here today. Are we still doing the presentation?
Apparently we are, Madam Mayor.
And this is a 5-year award, is that correct, Chief?
Thank you, it is. Mike Fowler, Director of Public Safety. Cindy Robinson is our admin assistant for our Fire Prevention and Crime Prevention Office. She does a fantastic job of keeping them organized. She organizes all of their appointments. She keeps them on schedule. She deals with contractors and business owners every single day. She also is the one who consolidates your fire report that you receive every month in your packet. She was unable to be here. She has family obligations that she has to take care of in the evening, but she has become a very valuable employee, and we're very lucky to have her.
Great, thank you. Please pass on our congratulations.
I will, thank you.
Okay, next we'll go on to the approval of the minutes from June 3rd, 2025. Do I hear a motion to accept the minutes as is?
I so move.
Thank you. Second?
I'll second.
Thank you. Any discussion on any of those minutes? If not, Sherry, can you take a vote, please? And then Chris, if you could give us a verbal.
I vote yes.
Okay, and that passed 5-0, thank you. Okay, next we are going to go on to the consent agenda. And on the consent agenda, we have 3 items this evening. Do I hear approval to approve the consent agenda without pulling any items? Or is there a certain item we need to pull for discussion?
I'll make the motion. I'll second.
Thank you. Does anyone want to discuss any of the 3 items? If not, Sherry, please take a roll. And Chris, can we have your vote on this, please?
I vote yes.
Thank you. Sure, can he go on his computer at home and look? Okay. Chris, we're just wondering, Sherry sent you the packet probably last week. If you would like to, you can go into there, log into there, and you can vote the same as we are. Would that work out better for you?
I mean, I'm okay doing it this way if you all are okay with it.
Okay, that's fine, thank you.
I'm following along with the agenda on my other phone, so,
Okay, all right, and that passed 5-0.
thank you.
Okay, next we are going to go on to old business, and this is ordinance 2025, a comprehensive plan future land use. And Attorney Bose, can you read that for us, please?
Yes, Madam Mayor. This is ordinance number 2025-05, an ordinance of the City of Daytona Beach Shores, Volusia County, Florida, relating to comprehensive planning, amending the City of Daytona Beach Shores Comprehensive Plan, amending Chapter 1, Future Land Use Element, by amending Map L4 entitled Generalized Future Land Use Map 2030, assigning the residential low-intensity future land use designation to annex single-family residential property generally located at 3836 South Atlantic Avenue, tax parcel ID 630205070190, providing for implementing action, providing for conflicts, providing for severability, providing for non-codification, and providing an effective date.
Thank you. Ms. Burstein?
Thank you, Madam Mayor, Vice Mayor, City Commissioners. Gwen Herstein, City Planner. The property at 3836 South Atlantic Avenue was recently annexed into Daytona Beach Shores. This is a second reading of ordinance 2025-05, which will add the future land use of residential low intensity for this property to the city's future land use map. These are aerial and street views for the property, which is approximately 2.5 miles south of our current location. Since first reading of this ordinance in May, the Volusia County Growth Management Commission has issued a consistency certificate for this property, for this action tonight. As all public notice and statutory requirements have been met, and the staff review and analysis have been submitted for the record, staff recommends approval of ordinance 2025 as presented.
Thank you. And this is a second reading. Is there anyone in the audience that has anything they'd like to talk about for 3836 South Atlantic? And are the owners here?
I don't believe so, Madam Mayor. They have been to 3 of the 5 different hearing dates, and so they did not indicate that they were coming tonight, but I'm sure they'll be glad to have the sign removed from their yard.
Thank you. And do I hear a motion to accept ordinance 2025-05?
I so move it. I'll second.
Thank you. Any discussion? If not, Sherry, can you take a vote on that, please? And Chris?
I vote yes.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Because Gwen has control of the screen.
All right, could you give me the vote? Okay, was it a 5-0? Okay, 5-0 vote, thank you. Okay, next we have a quasi judicial hearing, ordinance 2025-04, the rezoning application for the same property, is that correct? Okay,
That is
and would there be someone that would swear us in?
Anyone who's going to talk on tonight's hearing, please stand up and raise your right hand. Do you swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, nothing but the truth?
And may I ask, was there any ex parte communication with anyone on the commission?
No. No.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you,
Proceed.
Madam Mayor,
No.
Thank you.
Vice Mayor, City Commissioners. This property is 3836 South Atlantic Avenue. It was annexed into Daytona Beach Shores in April. Ordinance 2025-04, before you for a second reading, will assign the zoning designation of RSF-2, Urban Single Family Residential Detached District, to the property. Again, as all public notices, notice requirements and statutory requirements have been met, and the staff review and analysis have been submitted for the record. Staff recommends approval of ordinance 2025-04 as presented. If approved, this action will mark the final step necessary for 3836 South Atlantic Avenue to function fully as a Daytona Beach Shores property.
Thank you. And not that it matters, do you have any idea if they're planning on doing an Airbnb or any rental at this location?
I did think that they planned to rent it, have rented it in the past. When the sign placement actions took place, I met the owners there almost every time they came out and joined me and chatted briefly with me. So I can't answer. I think it may be a mix.
Okay, thank you. Okay, and do I hear a motion to accept ordinance 2025-04?
I so move.
Any a second?
I'll second.
Thank you. Any discussion on this ordinance? Okay, if not, Sherry? And Chris, how are you voting?
Oh, we need to read the
Oh,
title?
you have to, go ahead.
Okay, this is ordinance number 2025-04, an ordinance of the City of Daytona Beach Shores, Volusia County, Florida, assigning the RSF-2 Urban Single Family Residential Detached District zoning classification to Annex Single Family Residential Property generally located at 3836 South Atlantic Avenue, tax parcel ID 6302-0507-0190, providing modification of the official zoning map, providing for implementing administrative action, providing for non-codification, providing for an effective date.
Thank you, Attorney. And now we're ready to vote, and Commissioner Economos has already voted yes. And this passed 5-0. Ms. Herstein, please tell the applicants that welcome to Daytona Beach Shores, and we're very happy to have them.
Thank you, I'd be happy to.
Next, we're going to go to new business, and that's ordinance 2025-08, voluntary annexation of 2920 South Peninsula Drive. Attorney Voice, can you read that one for us, please?
Yes, Madam Mayor. This is ordinance number 2025-08, an ordinance of the City of Daytona Beach Shores, Volusia County, Florida, relating to voluntary annexation of real property located at 2920 South Peninsula Drive, tax parcel identification number 5327-09000160, together with associated rights-of-way, in accordance with Section 171.44 Florida statutes, providing for legislative and administrative findings, redefining the boundaries of the city, providing for legal effect and implementing administrative actions, providing for conflicts, providing for severability, providing for non-codification, and setting an effective date.
Thank you, Attorney. Herstein?
Thank you, Madam Mayor, Vice Mayor, City Commissioners. I'm Gwen Herstein with the City of Daytona Beach Shores as the planner. This ordinance is a voluntary annexation, which if approved will annex a single-family residence on South Peninsula Drive into Daytona Beach Shores. The owner applicants, Andrew and Bonnie Melville, are here with us this evening. This property is 2.83 acres with just over 91 feet of frontage on South Peninsula Drive. It is currently a single-family residence and is proposed to remain a single-family residence. It's located on South Peninsula Drive between the two access points of River Point Drive. This is an aerial view of the property. You can see the ocean's cloverleaf north to the east of the red box, which outlines the 2920 South South Peninsula Drive property. As the crow flies, it's about 1,600 feet from our current location.
And Gwen, may I ask, the reason they qualify is because the property north of them, can you go back to that one moment, please? I'm sorry. The property north of them is already in the shores.
And also east. Yes, Madam Mayor.
Okay, great. Thank you.
Thank you. This is a street view of the property. Staff analysis and exhibits have been submitted for the record. The requirements of Florida statute section 171.044 having been met, staff recommends approval at this first reading of ordinance 2025-08.
Is there anyone in the audience that wishes to speak on the annexation of property at 2920 South Peninsula Drive? And the applicants are here today?
Yes, ma'am.
Great. Hello. Thank you. Well, we're very, very pleased for you to have interest in joining Daytona Beach Shores. I'm sure you'll love it here where life is better. So thank you again for your interest.
Madam Mayor,
Yes, sir.
some of the superstar pickleball players on top of it.
Oh, wow, okay, so now you're legal. And we invite anyone, any of our neighbors to play at our pickleball. It's only tennis, we're a little bit more restrictive. But anyway, thank you very much, and thank you for enjoying the courts. It seemed like our commissioner must have played with you before. I won't ask who beat who. So Anyone, is there a motion to accept ordinance 2025-08?
I so move.
Thank you, second.
I'll second it.
Thank you. Is there any discussion on this ordinance? If not, we'll take a vote. Commissioner Economos?
Vote yes.
That's pretty funny.
And again, this passed 5-0. Thank you. Okay, next, we're going to go on to ordinance 2025-09. We have our Director of Finance coming up, and Attorney Boyce, can you read that for us, please, the ordinance?
Yes, Madam Mayor. This is ordinance number 2025-09, an ordinance of the City of Daytona Beach Shores, Florida, amending the Municipal Code of Ordinance, Section 2-9 procurement, amending ordinance 2022-13, relating to increasing purchasing authority limits, providing for an increase in emergency purchases thresholds, adding federal and state procurement language, providing for legislative findings and intent, providing for implementing administrative actions, providing for severability, providing for codification and scrivener's errors, providing for conflicts, and providing for an effective date.
Thank you. Director Irwin?
Good evening, Madam Mayor, Vice Mayor, Commissioners, Finance Director Lori Irwin. This ordinance is actually clears up and is updating the ordinance 2022-13, which is our original procurement policy that we passed back in July of 2022. And what we're trying to do is, as we've used it over the years, there's just been little discrepancies as to needing some clarification regarding using an e-bid system, which we're going to be using now for our RFPs, RFQs, so that solicitors can actually submit online versus having to drop off at the city. Makes it easier for them, and it's going to open up that door for us to get vendors. And then we're clarifying some sole sourcing for posting, whether it needs to be posted. We had it set to post for 2 weeks, and it really does not need to be. And we're adding that federal and state regulations, and this is for our grants because we have to comply with federal and state procurement guidelines, so that's in there. And we're going to be removing the authority limits that are in the actual ordinance and making that a resolution, which we will be bringing that to you next reading. And what that does is it'll be set at changing the CM authority limits, and that will be set by you by resolution versus having to change it with an ordinance and having to read that, go through 2 readings. Just because the environment right now, I mean, the cost of things are changing so much. So as we look at our limits, you might not, the city manager might not even be able to approve, let's just say, fixing something around the city. We're getting contracts that we're thinking should only be $25,000, and they're more like $59,000.
And what is his limit right now?
Right now he's $50,000.
Okay, and will you be coming back to us in August then, that we can either leave that limit the same or change it? Is that correct?
Correct. We'll actually be bringing that through, I believe, the next.
Whenever we have our special meeting.
Correct.
Okay, our workshop and
Correct.
our next meeting, okay.
Because this also is for hurricanes, because it changes the emergency limits, because during an emergency, that's all he has is $50,000. So if we need to have something brought in, we would have to have a special meeting.
Okay, thank you. Do you hear a motion to, so right now this is just the resolution for the policy, correct?
This is a change
ordinance
to
for
the
the
ordinance, so there'll be 2 readings, and then we'll be bringing a resolution.
Do I hear a motion to accept ordinance 2025-09?
I so move.
Thank you, second?
I'll second.
All right,
I'll second.
all right. Thank you. Any discussion? If not, and Commissioner Economos, how are you voting on this?
Yes.
Thank you. And this passed 5-0, thank you. Okay, next we're going to talk about the annual conference, the voting delegate. So this is our annual conference. We switch it every year from right outside of Miami to Orlando. This year it is in Orlando. The dates are August 13th to August 16th. I do have to say it's a wonderful conference with wonderful, wonderful seminars and a great learning process. So is there anyone that's planning on attending the conference in Orlando, August 13th to 16th? I'm planning on going, so it would be nice if someone made a motion for me to be the delegate, the voting delegate, since I'll be the only one there evidently.
I'll make a motion that we give the mayor the delegate responsibilities.
Okay, thank you. Do I hear a second?
I'll second.
Thank you. All right, any discussion or any questions on this annual conference? Okay, if not, do we need a vote on this? Okay, Commissioner Economos?
I vote yes.
Thank you. Well, congratulations, Mayor, you're the delegate this year. Thank you. All right, and next we are going to go on to the discussion of our city manager's compensation. And just to refresh your memory, we began on this at the end of last meeting that we had on June 3rd. And I think our vice mayor was going to look into it a little bit more and has something to discuss with us this evening. Is that correct, Vice Mayor?
Yes, Madam Mayor. So I did my due diligence, and we had that chart with all the other city managers from other different municipalities. I sat down with our city manager, and here's what I have as a recommendation for the commission to consider. I'd like to author a motion that would say, allow the city manager to be treated just like every other employee of the city. In other words, whatever is consistent with them would be consistent for him with his salary. So if they have cost of living increases, they have cost of living increases, things of that nature.
I am so sorry.
No worries.
Okay.
So that's one item that I thought would be good. And I think it goes to leadership. When you lead by example, say, I am no different than my staff, and so I want to be treated the same way salary-wise. Number two, we don't have to bring up this salary thing every year. Let's just put it on the consent agenda unless we have absent a need or an issue arising. That way he's treated like the rest of the staff. And, you know, I can't take credit. It was like, I sat down with Kurt, we had lunch together, and he goes, Michael, I just want to be treated like the rest of the staff. He goes, I'm good. He goes, I'm very happy here. And of course, our concern is to make sure that he's not solicited by another city, especially with a lot of the unrest that goes on the west side. But no, he loves it here. He's comfortable with his salary, and so I'd like to draft that presentation in a motion, but I don't want to do that right away. I want to give everyone else an opportunity to give their piece.
And Vice Mayor, would this be based on the CPI?
Correct.
Okay. And then,
Whatever's the rest of the staff.
okay, and we have had excellent performance appraisals for our city manager. If something happened, you know, God forbid, if it dropped off, or if, you know, we would get another city manager that was just starting out. Kurt, you could probably answer this. Do you have to get at least a 3 to get a CPI, or can you still get one at a 2? How does that work?
At a 3, so let me back up and say what the other employees get. So we use a 20-year average of the CPI. And I'm going to look at Lori as I'm saying this to make sure I'm saying it correctly. And then there's a formula that calculates, and depending on what the CPI is, and the employees are on a 1 to 10 scale. My evaluation is currently on a 1 to 5. That's easy math to convert to a 10-point scale. And depending on where they fall, 8 and above gets the same score or percentage, and then it decreases, and it varies a little bit each year what that increase or decrease is. The average, I'm going to say, has been 2 to 4% on average, in that range, depending on where they fall. anything 4 and below on the employee scale, it doesn't get anything? Is that,
And we've been fortunate enough.
yeah. Usually if they're getting a 4, they're probably not gonna be here much longer anyways.
Okay, thank you for answering that. That was my only questions. Commissioner Card, do you have any questions?
No.
Commissioner Dominski?
No, I mean, my main concern is we keep Kurt happy, and he's a great city manager. I've been around a long time. He's a very good city manager.
You know, and I was telling him the other day with some of the roles that I've taken on in the state, meeting people not only from Volusia County, but all over the state. And what I try to do is always talk about best practices, what everyone's doing in their city, but you know the other creeps in too. You know, the city manager that does this, we don't get along and do that. So although I thought before that we had a great city manager, when you talk to other people from other cities, you know that we do. So anyway, I'm fine with this, Vice Mayor. Thank you very much for doing your due diligence. And Commissioner Economos, do you have any questions on this?
No questions, but again, I just want to join everybody in saying what a great job Kurt does, and we appreciate him.
Thank you. Okay, do I need a motion on this, or are we going to draft something and come back? Do you know, Becky?
We can,
Okay.
we will do that.
I'll get with Becky and look at my existing contract and what language would need to be tweaked based on,
And it can
do
be.
they
a
need to vote, or is this
rolling
just
basis.
consensus? Becky, would they need to vote or just consensus tonight?
I'd really like to see a vote.
Okay. All right.
So I'll make a motion that we allow city staff and our legal team get together to draft some type of ordinance that would parallel the presentation that I made and also the will of the city commission as indicated by everyone on the.
Could that be a resolution?
Let's make it a resolution.
Okay.
Can I just
Certainly.
ask a question? Lori, when did the employees get their last CPI raise?
Well, that was actually, it's in the mayor, it would have been October, because in April is when they got the additional $1.30.
Okay, so,
So is the city manager behind? Is that what you're getting at?
That's exactly what-
Okay, do we need to retro anything?
I'm comfortable with October 1, same as the employees.
Okay.
retro to October 1 or waiting till next October 1?
Waiting till next October.
You're easy to negotiate with, aren't you?
Yes.
Okay.
Okay, all right, thank you for bringing that up, though. And, all right, so now, we do have a motion. Did we have a second on it as well, Sherry?
No,
Okay,
I need a second.
you need a second.
I'll second it.
Thank you. And I think we've pretty well discussed it, but does anyone else have any questions on it before we take a vote? Okay, if not, Commissioner Economos?
Yes.
And it passed 5-0. So again, Vice Mayor, thank you for all the work that you did on that. I appreciate it.
You're welcome.
Okay, next we're going to go on to an adopted calendar update, and there was an attachment, if you can look to see. So Sherry put this out, our city clerk put this out, so we would know till the end of the year what we were doing on dates. We had tentatively talked about, we need a workshop and a regular meeting for the budget process. I think we did October 29th. I cannot do October 29th unless we do it early in the afternoon, maybe starting at 2 o'clock. So if, for those of you that aren't able to make a 2 o'clock meeting that day, if you look at your calendars, Lori needs enough time to get all of the budget put into place. So we're actually looking at the week of July 28th. Since I cannot do the 29th, we can either do it, I can't do the evening, I have to be somewhere at 5 o'clock. So we can do starting at 2 o'clock, might even push us a little bit with a workshop on that. So can people look at their calendar for either July 28th or the 30th? If you let me know that you're free on that date, then we will talk about a time. So, Vice Mayor, 28th?
I prefer the 28th because I'll be out of the state on the 30th.
Okay, so on the 28th, what time can you start? Can you start at a,
You tell me and I'll be here.
Okay.
I'll make it happen.
All right. So if, City Manager, do you want to start our regular meeting at 6 o'clock, or does it have to be time certain, or can we say right after the workshop?
I would say let's post it as a time certain because we're doing proposed millage rate. I'd rather
All right.
have that agenda be a specific time
All right, so should we keep it our normal 6 o'clock?
at the will of the commission.
All right, so let's have some discussion on that. Vice Mayor is pretty flexible. Commissioner Economos, can you do the 28th?
is a
Monday?
The 28th is a Monday, correct?
Yes.
Yeah.
I can, but I would prefer it, if we can possibly not do it any earlier than 4:30.
Oh, no, we'd have to do it earlier than that because we're allowing at least 2 hours for a meeting, for a budget workshop we had talked before. So we could possibly do a 3:30 or 4, because I don't want to rush in case, so.
If we do-
That should work for
Okay.
me, 3:30 or 4.
I think if we do 4 o'clock and with a regular meeting at 6, that would be enough
You
time.
think that'd be enough time? Okay, all right, so that would work for you to start our workshop at 4 and then immediately following have our commission meeting?
Yeah, that would be fine.
Okay. Commissioner Card, would that work for you?
July 28th, yes.
Okay, all right, at 4 o'clock?
So do we also have a meeting on August 4th?
Yes.
Okay.
August, is that the? Yes. Yes, okay, and
August 5th, August 5th.
August 5th. And Commissioner Dubinsky, will the 28th work for you?
Yeah, but I'm confused. We're gonna have a meeting and then another meeting 5 days later?
This is because of the budget.
I understand that. Okay.
So-
The 28th is fine with me. I was just curious as to why, I thought there had to be a time frame between the first budget meeting and the second one.
So for the proposed millage rate, we have to adopt it within 35 days, if I remember Trim correctly. So
35 days of what?
when the numbers are presented to us, which is technically July 1,
Okay.
so going to the 5th, I don't think would work.
That's 36.
So do we need to change that August 5th?
No, doing it on the 28th is fine, and then the August 5th would just be our regular scheduled meeting.
Is that all right with you, Commissioner?
Absolutely.
All right.
I just want to let you know that it will be someone you probably don't know who will be here, because I'm looking at, I'm tied up, Wade is tied up, and Paul is tied up.
And who is
So,
it you're going to send us? Is it somebody that just started their first year in law school?
Oh, my God, no. No, I will send you a good lawyer,
Okay.
yeah.
That's all
I'm
she
not
has is
sure.
good lawyers.
Well, that's true.
Yes.
That's true.
All right, that's fine, Becky. I
Yeah,
mean,
it
we're
looks
pretty-
like it'll
we're pretty
probably
easy.
be Chloe.
Okay, okay. We're pretty easy, aren't we?
And there won't be a lot on, I mean, it'll just be the proposed millage rate and second reading of the procurement ordinance on that meeting. Everything else we'll put on the 5th.
Okay.
Unless something of urgent nature pops up between now and then, it'll just be those 2 items.
Okay, so to review that, we're going to do it on Monday, July 28th. We're going to start the workshop at 4 o'clock. We anticipate that will last an hour and a half to 2 hours. We will do a hard stop. Chris, are you right here? Not Chris Conomos, Chris, my IT. How long do you need to stop before we start a new one? What's it?
10 minutes or so.
10 minutes, okay, all right. So I would like to do a hard stop at least by 5:45. We will start our regular commission meeting at 6 PM. Does anyone have any questions? Other than that, looking over the calendar, does anyone have any dates that they have a question about? Now, remember, again, we normally had 2 meetings in November and December, and we always had a motion to have only 1, but since we're only doing 1 a month, we're going to have our 1 meeting of those months, so.
Madam Mayor?
Yes.
If I can, just to point out again, in September, we'll be having 2 meetings per trim, but it's be September 8th rather than September 1st. We're proposing that because that does not conflict with the school board or the county per Florida statute. So that's why we're picking the 8th. And then the 23rd meets the trim requirements for the time between the meetings.
Okay, so the 8th is a Monday.
8th is a Monday,
8th is a Monday, and that will be at 6 o'clock PM. Is that correct?
And Madam Mayor?
Yes.
I will be out of the country, and I think we discussed this before. I was going to have an excused absence for that meeting.
Yes, that's fine, yes. Our clerk is shaking her head that, yes, she knows that. Okay, and that's the
Perfect, thank
8th,
you.
not the 23rd, right? The 8th.
Yes, that's correct.
All right, and then the 23rd will be a 6 PM meeting?
Correct.
I don't have any.
Okay, any questions? Okay. Becky, do we need a vote on any of this or not?
I would,
Okay.
yes, setting the meetings.
All right, could somebody do a motion to accept the calendar as we amended it? So the July 28th date, the August 5th, the September 8th, the September 23rd, and everything else that's noted there.
I'm a little confused. You're going to have two meetings, one on July 28th, 4 o'clock workshop with a 6 o'clock meeting.
Yes.
And then several days later, you're going to have another meeting on August 5th.
Yes, our regularly scheduled
Okay.
meeting.
Okay, I was just curious.
Okay.
Well, then I'll move to make those dates official, July 28th, August 5th, September 6th, and September 23rd.
No, September 8th,
8th?
yes,
Okay.
a Monday, the 23rd.
I so move.
Thank you.
I'll second.
All right, any other discussion? I'm sure he's going to repost this out, and we will talk about it in advance. Okay, do I, Commissioner Economos, are you in
I
agreement?
vote yes.
Okay,
Yes, yes, I am. Thank you.
okay, we got that calendar out of the way, and then it passed 5-0. And thank you. We're going to move on now to discussion of the presentation of service awards. And this is just an open discussion, so we've gone back and forth on this. We always had the presentations at the city commission meetings. And then we started doing them at the coffee with the mayor. And then we went back to doing them at the commission meeting. I just want, like, this evening, I don't know for sure, but I think that our chief alluded that Cindy could not be here because it was an evening meeting. So I would like people to be able to come to the meeting. Some of them get off at 3:30 and do not want to come back at 6 o'clock. Some of them would like to have their fellow employees here, their fellow peers, and a lot of them don't want to come back at night. To our public safety officer, you are,
Probably listening to his radio. He's got.
okay, I'm sorry. You guys are always great about coming to support your fellows, so we appreciate that. Some of the public works and other departments don't. So I can't make a motion, but I would like somebody maybe to make a motion that we would allow the employee the choice, either 3 choices, just receive it from your supervisor without anything, come into the commission meeting, or come to coffee with the mayor.
I'll make that motion, but I just want to tweak it. When they prefer to do it within their organization, invite whatever staff happens to be lying around to participate in that little ceremony. But yeah, I'll so move as that, give them the option.
Any other discussion on that?
Good idea.
Okay, all right.
It's a very good idea. I'll second it.
All right, if there's no further discussion, let's take a vote on that. So then again, the 3 choices are that they have it right in, they get their award from their supervisor, and maybe their team gathers around on that date. They come to the commission meeting, or they have it with coffee with the mayor. So, Commissioner Economos?
So yes.
Thank you. Okay, and that passed 5-0. So for all of the supervisors here today, can you make sure going forward that they know if they have a service anniversary, they have those 3 choices? Thank you. Okay, next we're going to go on to discussion of community service activities during evening hours. And I think, Commissioner Card, this might have been something that you brought up and you might have evaluated a little bit more. So can you tell us a little bit about your feelings?
Yeah, I was a couple of residents in the subdivision, or in the city, reached out to me about just having some mental health issues with maybe a spouse had passed away. So basically talked about what could we do for these people. This is what they asked for. And after I talked to Nancy about it, the community center is already open, so we do have some things. We have Council on Aging, we have the churches open. So I think that we have quite a few things there for them to reach out to. This, what I'm thinking is that we do have adequate amount of places for them to go.
Let's always remember, too, that we've done a great job of partnering with SMA, and I'm sure they might have some programs. Well, it was Stuart Marshman. What is it called now, Nancy?
It's SMA.
It's SMA now, okay. And they have some programs that maybe we can refer somebody to. Okay. And I don't think we need a vote on that. It was just, okay, discussion on that. So now we are on to you, Attorney Vos. Do you have any comments for us?
Nothing tonight, thank
Great.
you.
City Manager?
Good evening, again, Madam Mayor, Vice Mayor, Commissioners. First of all, let me just say thank you again for the kind words on the previous agenda item. I only have one announcement tonight. It's kind of exciting news. Our legislative requests, well, we requested $1 million, but the governor did not veto what was actually a request put through by the Senate and the House for $900,000. So we are going to be receiving $900,000 towards our public works building expansion. I don't know what that looks like yet, but it's, so basically we spent about 40 this year on our consultant to get 900. So pretty good return on that money this year. I'll keep you in the loop, and you'll see that project in the upcoming budget.
I want to point out, though, that this just did not happen. First of all, you know, we voted to have a lobbyist, and he did a lot of work, but we have to do a lot of work with the city as well. And I'm sure we all do that when we see our legislators. Nancy Maddox, myself, and Kurt went up to legislative days in, is that March? Seems like forever ago.
I think so, yeah, Mark, yeah.
You know, they had a very, very long session, and we went around to the legislators and explained, you know, why we needed this money. We talked, and we met not only with them in Tallahassee. You can't expect to get any cooperation if that's the only time you're there. You need to build a relationship and advocate with them daily, and I know we all do that. So we have a great relationship with Chase Tremont. Bill Partington and I were mayors together, so, you know, I already have that relationship with them. Tom Wright, Tom Lake. So it's just a combination. And one of the things I think they realize, too, as we are a city now, is it 65 years? 65 years. So last year was the first time in the history of our city that we have ever asked for appropriations. We were approved last year, but when it got to the governor, it was vetoed. So I hope they took that into great consideration, too, that we're not always one having our hand out. Another thing, too, is that we had a match. We had a match that's more than what they're going to give us. So it was a lot of things that just fell into road, but I'm so excited that we are going to get this. Thank you for everyone for their help. If you get a chance, please reach out to Senator Wright and to Representative Tremont. They were the ones that sponsored the bill for us. Thank them for their support. And we're hoping to get one or both of them here with one of those paper checks. We're going to do a big celebration with this $900,000. So is there any questions of our city manager on that? Great, congratulations. Well done. Okay, next for commission comments, I'm just going to go over some of the things that Nancy handed me. Now remember, we are not doing coffee with the mayors in July and August because of our snowbirds not being here. Attendance is usually down. We will resume in September. Again, going over the summer drive-in movie mania, it's the 6th, 8th, and 10th, so that's Sunday, Tuesday, and Thursday. Gates open at 7, the movies start at 8:45. If you look at your calendar, and if you can go out and represent our city on the 8th or the 10th for about 45 minutes, I'm sure Reverend Bob would greatly appreciate that. Next, we're gonna have food trucks and a free concert on July 25th. That will start at 4:30 p.m. and the music will be Anita Drink, starts at 5 p.m. And then we're gonna have, we've done this for several years at Krabby's. We are going to have an end of summer bash, a low country boil. That's September 11th. Doors open at 4:30. It's a cash bar. It's going to be limited to only the first 150 people. We've already sold 24 tickets. If you buy in advance, it's $35 and it's $40 at the door. And I think that is everything that I have. So Vice Mayor, what do you have for us?
I really don't have anything. I just have a funny story. I had
We love funny stories.
client, a couple came in, were involved in an accident right in front of the old DiMucci building on Peninsula and Dunlawton. And they praised the Shores public safety guys who were first to arrive, and then ultimately, I believe, what is it, the Sheriff's Department or Port Orange takes over?
That intersection we share with Port Orange.
Right, and then Port Orange took over. So they complimented the Shores, and then they badmouthed Port Orange, because they say, you know what, those Shores guys, they were polite, professional, empathetic, and he goes, as soon as Port Orange took over, it was like, what happened to the Shores guys?
Yeah.
So I had to explain to them about the jurisdiction, but they were very complimentary. So kudos to you and your staff and your agency for doing a good job.
Great, thank you. Commissioner Economos, do you have anything? Has there been any TPO meetings that we've missed that we need updated on?
Not really at this time, but, and again, I don't really have any other comments, but thank you again for allowing me to appear by phone.
No, you're welcome, thank you.
Now,
Commissioner-
just to let you know,
Yes.
sorry, we are, actually, there's not going to be a TPO meeting in July.
Okay.
They will resume in August. Commissioner, or Vice Mayor Politis previously attended those, and they were at the, one of the conference rooms in the airport, and they actually have their own space now, so beginning in August, we will be meeting at their new space on Williamson.
Oh, great.
But
great.
again, there's no meeting in July.
Okay, great. Commissioner Card?
On the economic development side, I've stopped by Bliss Beach several times. They're doing some work in there. Looks like they're getting some things done, so we're hoping in the near future they're gonna be back open.
Okay. And I did see, I don't know if it would be you or Nancy, I saw when I went by yesterday, the day before, the Caribbean Buffet has their sign out. Probably not open yet, but the sign's there. Okay. Thank you. Nancy, do you have any update on either of the new businesses in the Gianna Plaza?
Not at this time. I know they're working on it.
Okay, thank you. Anything else, Commissioner Card? Okay, Commissioner Dubinsky?
Nothing. I'm just proud to be a member of this commission. You read about city commissions that don't operate as efficiently as we do, that's for sure.
Right. Yeah, we're seeing that right now, if anyone's on Facebook. And so right now, I messed up my thing here, so Sherry, can you tell me who, I know we have at least one speaker, can you call on them, please?
Just the one, yes, ma'am.
Barbara Ann, is that you? Okay, come on up, please.
Good evening, Madam Mayor and our city manager and commissioners. We are thrilled to be here to update you on a few chamber items. I am representing the Port Orange South Daytona Chamber, and we are sponsoring the movie night for Thursday. We're very excited about that. But along with sponsoring it, we're going to have up to 15 businesses as vendors there. And that's a great opportunity to showcase some of our businesses in the Shores and that are members of our chamber. And then additionally, we would like to let you know that we're kicking off Leadership 2025. That begins this September, it goes through November for 9 weeks. And we are so grateful to have Nancy Maddox. She is part of our steering committee. She just does a phenomenal job, and we're thrilled to have her part of that. And I'll turn my rest of the time over to Dan Morris.
Thank you for, again, and I'm going to put somebody on the spot in a second and talk about what wonderful experience they had at Leadership. So, Dan, and thank you again for the opportunity for allowing me to be at the youth speaking to them.
Well, that's what I'm here to talk about. I think I've been involved in the youth civic leadership experience for the last 6 years. And I did that because I don't have any kids that I know of. And it's given me a chance to be around 10th and 11th graders. And I can tell you, every year it's gotten better and better. It is quite a lot of work. It's 5 days of the students come in. There was 22. We filled up like that. We have a great staff, so there's people in charge of each of the 5 days. And then on Saturday now, we have a graduation. And I can tell you that the kids each do their own presentations of what they got out of this 5 days. And I can just tell you that it's 5 days that I probably will never forget, because they learn, one of the things they do on Government Day, and Nancy's a part of it, she's been a part of it the last 3 years and does an awesome job. What we do is a mock city council meeting. So they all have scripts for their different roles, even in the crowd. And one of the things they're talking about is a curfew for kids, for young adults. So they're battling about whether they should have this curfew or not. So it's a lot of fun. Nancy comes in and kind of moderates it and watches it and gives them feedback. And they really walk away with, wow, I didn't know that's how a city works. And they did an excellent job this year, and obviously Nancy did a wonderful job of speaking to what a mayor does, how you run a meeting, and why it's so important to get involved and understand how these things work. So you got a great representative here, not only in the mayor, but also in this entire board here. But also on that graduation day, which I really didn't want to do because it's 5 days, and then it's the 6th day, you're like, okay, Saturday, you got to be there from 9 to 11. But when we got done with it, I was like, wow, that was unbelievable, because the parents were really excited about their kids graduating. Everybody did a different presentation. In fact, one kid, he did a rap to some music, and it was really, really great to see Matt, who's one of our council people for the county, get excited about, because he talked about not wanting to go to jail. Anyway, it was a wonderful thing, and we want to thank really the city of Daytona Beach Shores, which I was a resident for 3 years. Then I got engaged.
Hate losing you.
And married, so now I live in New Smyrna Beach. But I love these cities, the Port Orange, South Daytona, Daytona Beach Shores, and Ponce Inlet. Really, everybody has great councils here, but this is one of the best. So thank you very much.
Thank you very much, appreciate it. So talking about the leadership, Barbara Ann, I know, we became involved, I'm thinking probably 5 years ago, when I'd hear about the leadership class, and I would be there to attend it, and I said to our city manager, I want to start to put somebody in that class. And our very first person we put in is our planning director. So Gwen, can you come up and just say 2 or 3 minutes? I know you got a great experience out of it. And so what we're trying to do is get our city manager, and I think he's already on board, that we want at least one person in that class every time. So
Absolutely. It was 8 weeks. I was, first of all, thrilled to be asked to join it. And then I learned it was 8 weeks of all morning for 8 weeks. And I thought, I can't possibly do that. I mean, I'm busy. I can't do that. And I was told, you're going to do that. And it was a huge, huge payback. I've spoken before about what I call unfettered access. They brought real varied and accomplished leaders in front of us, and not only did they speak to us and present to us, but then they made themselves really available to us, and handing out cards, and if you need something and you email them, they respond. Really incredible. I also will say, since it's been over almost 2 years, really, the kinship that I developed with fellow leadership attendees, fantastic. And I'm thrilled to run into somebody, and it's like we were friends in high school. It was really a great experience.
Okay, thank you for sharing that. And then our second year, we had Shannon from the finance department. I don't know if we've quite decided who we're going to have yet, but the city manager has committed we'll have somebody in that class.
Very much.
You're very welcome. Thank you for coming this evening. Okay, and we have several items I know that are going to be added for our next agenda, all focusing around the budget. So is there anyone else in the audience? I do not have any other forms. Is that correct, Sherry? Correct. Wish to speak. But is there anyone else that wishes to speak? Again, welcome to the Shores. We're very, very glad to have you. Well, it's not final, I guess, until the next meeting, but it looks like you're on a good path. So if there's no other comments from anyone, and we know what we're going to